Hi everyone, Anna's here. Welcome to our yet another Wednesday. For some of you, happy hump day. I don't count those days as a hump day, but if it helps you get through the week, that's cool. This is our Money Day show. I wanted to chat with you about a cool topic that comes up quite a bit, and I see this with a lot of my clients, and this may apply to your parents, this may apply to your grandparents, this may be applicable to you, but it is not always about money. And the other side of retirement, so I'm focusing on the retirement discussion today, but the other side of the retirement planning, right? Because we focused so heavily on saving, working, making sure that things are properly set up and aligned for us to enter a retirement phase. And we, as younger, right, adults, and it became even more popular now that the millennial generation is one of the largest generations out there, to start thinking about retirement and how to save for that. But what I want to talk about is the other side of retirement, because it doesn't always end up being just how much money you need to have at the end of the day in your savings or checking or investment accounts. Hi, Wanda. Good to have you here. But it's also about getting this off my screen. It's also about what the heck is it that you're gonna do with your life when you get to being retired. And so I want you to ponder a couple of things, right? You will figure out the financial pieces because you're gonna have to, but so many examples, and we have them in our families. People get lost because I don't want you to focus on taking your career and what you actually do is the basis of your life. It does happen a lot because, let's face it, majority of our adult working years is when we are spending time on things that we've been trained for. We have degrees, we have careers, we have professional businesses, all of that stuff. So it's like it becomes part of our life. But when you get to face the retirement phase, you lose that aspect. And I know you've heard many stories where somebody, says, oh, I can't wait till I retire. I want to play golf all day long. And they do that for a while and it becomes boring. Or people lose interest in life, right? Because the structure of your days is different and the focus is different. But yet there are so many people who actually find, right, themselves in the next phase of retirement. The other thing that I want you to think about, and kind of I'll share with you a couple of sort of prompting questions that you can use to create, even like something like what I have there on the wall is a vision board, right? And vision board helps you kind of see it. Where are you going? So this should be the fun part of getting into the retirement phase. Now, you don't have to be facing retirement tomorrow to do these things. You better think about these earlier. But the reason I'm talking about this today is because there are steps, maybe even career decisions that you can make way ahead. So this does not apply just to someone who is about to call it quits and need a last minute kind of plan. I want you to think about this as life-changing decisions, right? Where are you going to live? Not from the financial aspect. Maybe you are going to downsize and you have to sell a house and move out. But what if you don't? What if the decision you make about changing your residence, hi Cynthia, is not purely related to financial reasons, but more because you want to live, for example, in a city, right? Or you want to get out of the city life and be more in the suburban area because that's what makes you happy. So there are things that you can still ponder. So what I'm trying to picture and help you do here today is create that vision board for yourself, right? That you can start mapping out regardless where your age bracket is. The new kind of a popular concept these days is it's called the acronym is FIRE. Retire, or is it FIRE? Financial independence, retire early. Hey, what if you're 45 and you're faced with those kinds of decisions? So here are some things to think about. So that retirement/independence phase, what is it going to look like? What are you going to be doing with the free time, right? Because supposedly you aren't going to be doing the work that you've been doing before. Are you going to be freelancing? Maybe you're going to be doing that for the heck of just doing it because you love it and it's not about the money. Who are you as an individual? Like, what do you stand for? What kind of hobbies do you have? What kind of interests do you have that can translate into filling your time, right? Because your calendar isn't going to be busy with work stuff anymore. What makes you happy, right? It's not an easy question to answer. What kind of, outline a schedule you're going to have for yourself during the day? Are you going to be sleeping in longer? Are you going to be working out of a coffee shop and so forth, right? What kind of hobbies and extracurricular activities do you have that you may want to expand on? And if this is the focus of your retirement plan or your independence plan, and that requires financial aspect, think about it earlier, right? What is your health might be like by the time you get there? I know this is kind of a weird question to think about because we don't know. Everybody hopes to be healthy, but what if you're going to have constraints and you can't, do the things you want to do? So should you make adjustments now? So I'm kind of just firing this at you because it does require you sitting down and writing this, kind of brainstorming, maybe just, going to your favorite coffee shop and taking a piece of paper and a pen and mapping this out. But it is a serious topic that, hits so many people, and so many of us aren't prepared. So I want you to have, hi Jen, good to have you here. I want you to have a strategy, right? We aren't talking about money because we've taken care of that. We have been taking care of that for a while. I want you to have a strategy for your life. And so just because there's an sort of a horizon point with the independence / retirement, that doesn't mean that you can't plan for that. Now, one of the things that I see often, and Cynthia, one of my colleagues here, is listening as well, the kind of financial plans we build for clients, and a lot of them, and this is interesting when you ask clients when they want to, get to that retirement phase, a lot of them aren't sure. And mostly it's due to not knowing where they stand financially. But the other reason they're not sure is because they're not seeing this trajectory where, hey, perhaps I don't, in today's environment in terms of how people work is different, but still, you still see so many people want to have a longer career because their higher earning years are towards the end of their career, versus some people make earlier adjustments, and then the last, for example, 5 or 10 working years are spent on doing something else, right? Starting other businesses, creating, other businesses, doing things that give them the flexibility to work anywhere, to do anything. So if that's the case, then your approach to mapping out your dream board, right, your vision board, is right on point with that. Now, one of the things that I have a resource for you to share, so you may want to write this down. I attended this workshop a number of years ago, but I still keep coming back to this resource. So this woman made the presentation on this topic. Her name is Sarah Zev Geber, and she has an interesting book called Live Smart After 50. Okay, so, and in her presentation, she kind of talked about really 3 points here. Figuring out what you have, which is the financial plan, right? So the monetary piece, because you've got to deal with that. The second point she had was figuring out what you actually enjoy. And those are the questions I was prompting you to think, right? What do you enjoy doing? Because there is going to be a time when you have to get to that. You enjoy traveling, you want to volunteer, do you want to spend more time with your grandkids? And the third piece is what you actually want to learn. Because I think, and I really like that, because regardless of your age, right, there shouldn't be a stopping point to your growth and your expansion. Do you maybe want to spend more time, learning another language, living in a different country, right? Like, that's an interesting concept, and a lot of people are drawn to that. Where do you want to live? Or not where, but how do you want to live? Those are all the things, like, do you want to wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning and go to a yoga class and then go to a coffee shop and write your favorite blog there? So I want you to kind of step aside. That's my whole point of today's discussion, because it's not about money, right? Although it's a tool and we're so obsessed with chasing it all of our lives, and then it's great to have, and it's something everybody needs to work on, right? And acquire skills to keep it, right? Earn it, work for it, keep it, right? Plan it, make sure that it works for you. But there's the other side of our lives, right? And so I think that just because the majority of our earlier years, right, our career, our early young years are spent on focusing, okay, how can I make more? How can I save more? And then we hit this period where, okay, well, I've worked for the last 20, right? And I am old enough to say that I have worked for 20 some years now, right? And looking back, yes, I was a younger adult getting out of college and, getting my career started. But now is like the time to think about, what do I want to do with my next 20 years, right? So how do I want to face it on going forward? And so this transition that you're creating for yourself, the questions to ask are these: to go from what am I, right? And in my case, I'm a financial planner, right? This is what I do for a living. I have a business, right? I work with clients on helping them with their financial planning related questions. To who am I, right? And this is the more involved question that you need to be answering. So I'm going to leave you with that. Check out Sarah's book. I'll put a link in the video. And let me think about, what are your plans? Like, what is your dream vision board to get to that point where money is not an issue and you can do whatever the heck you want with your life? What would it look like? I bet that it's going to take some of you some time to actually really think it. And the one aspect, for those of you who, just to kind of highlight this for you, yes, I'm biased for sure towards this process because that's what I do. And I've seen how this transforms people's lives. But one aspect, right? Because financial planning process is long, it's involved. There's a lot of different moving parts. But the one piece of the process that a lot of people get, many benefits from is actually going through the exercise of identifying what their goals are. So in the question is, what is it that you want to accomplish? That's the big question you need to answer for yourselves. Jen is asking if there's any other books I can recommend on the subject. Yes, I'm going to put a couple links in the video below, but one for sure that I've really been referring to is Life Smart After 50. Sarah also has a website called lifeencore.com that has plenty of awesome resources on this topic. But yes, I'm gonna definitely share a couple more. So let me know, what are you thinking, and how can you help with something like this to your family member? I've got aging parents myself, right? And I want to help them figure out what the heck do they want to do the rest of their lives. We got to take the financial piece out of it because it just gets in the way. So aside from discussion on the retirement topic and what are you going to accomplish when you get to that